was just at a place in my life where I truly wanted to just commit suicide or just let life go. It didn't have any value or meaning anymore.
Hello and welcome to Beyond Ordinary. I am your host, Maya Spella Cullins, and I have Miss Christie Smith on today. She has a story. We're going to talk about everything from her childhood to addiction down to actually being in recovery and showing the world what she has and changing lives each and every day. So welcome, Christie. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you for having me, Maya.
No problem, no problem. So I want to talk a little bit about your journey. Take me to that place when you were a young gal and how that looked for you, and we're going to go from there.
Okay, sounds good. Life itself started a little bit devastating for me. My father, who was biological but unknown to me, had abducted me at the age of 3. And he took me from North Carolina to California. And my family had to hire a private investigator to find me, and it took about 3 months to get me back. My grandmother and grandfather were a huge part of that, and it caused her to have a mental breakdown. And so I became very close to her when I was retrieved. And then further in my story, my father ended up dying in prison from alcohol and drug addiction, as well as being a convicted child molester. So that was how it kind of started out. Things were, you know, a little rough around the edge, and life has been, in the least, not to say ordinary.
Right. And then, after all of that, you came back. Tell me what else transpired during that particular part of your life?
There were some instances where I had experienced rape and molestation, some connected to family. And that allowed me, with the abandonment from my father, as well as the domestic violence that occurred in the relationship with my mother and her new husband, to start to try to cover up those feelings and try to hide those things.
So you didn't talk about the rape? You didn't talk about the molestation? You didn't talk about that at all?
No.
With your family?
No.
You just kind of kept it to yourself?
Yes.
And with keeping it to yourself, what did it make Christie become?
It allowed me to start to build anger and hatred. I started to feel like I was never going to have my own worth or identity as a woman. And I started to use drugs and alcohol around the age of 12 to cover up those things and to kind of separate myself from the life with my family, you know, my situation. And so that became something that was very active to me. I moved out when I was 13 years old, and I started selling drugs by the age of 15. And so I was in my first full-blown relationship at 15 years old with a 23-year-old man.
Wow. So you went from 12 to 13?
Moving out at 13 and
then being in a relationship. So during that time, what all did you get involved in? I know you said you did drugs, you sold drugs. What else came with that life?
Things for me were just, I was kind of what you call a hot item at the time. I wanted attention that I hadn't received in a way that I should have. And so I started to promote myself with this, you know, type of power, was selling drugs and having control in situations like that, but it still left me empty and very lonely and depressed. And so during that time frame, I became pregnant with my first son. And I wanted to change my life to better myself at that point, but I hadn't really done hard drugs. And his father came into the picture and introduced me to hard drugs. And I became addicted at that point to crack cocaine for probably about 10 years of my life.
So what all drugs did you get involved in over the course of being a young teenage girl to going into adulthood and into recovery? What drugs did you use?
Alcohol started to be my go-to because I started to realize that I could use alcohol to kind of knock the edge off of some of the other things that I was experiencing. But I would probably say the worst thing I experienced was the addiction to crack cocaine, which led me to be homeless and become a prostitute. And then I continued to sell drugs as well. And I was just at a place in my life where I truly wanted to just commit suicide or just let life go. It didn't have any value or meaning anymore.
Right. So when you was at that point, did you contemplate on how you was going to commit suicide? Where were you at that particular point in your life when you thought that? What saved you? Like, you got all these thoughts in your head. You're prostituting, you're using drugs, you have a child. What in your mind was going on?
I had signed custody over with my family of my 2 children at that point, and I kind of was like, my grandparents always instilled a strong, faithful nature in me and a relationship with God. And I remember laying in bed that morning at about 4 o'clock, and I had drugs in the closet, and I'd been doing drugs all night, and I wasn't supposed to be physically able to have any more children. And I prayed, and I said, God, if you're really who you say you are, then you either allow me to step out of this hell that I'm living in, or I'm going to take my own life. And it was just like within a matter of the next couple of weeks, I had gotten up and I wasn't feeling well, and I went to the hospital and I was pregnant. And so I had promised God that if He would let me have another child, I would stop using and selling drugs.
So did you just stop cold turkey?
It was almost as if I heard God say to me, I kept my end of the deal, now what about you?
Wow.
And so that's when I started to change my life.
And you've been in recovery for how long?
I've been in recovery since March the 14th of 2004.
Wow.
The
Congratulations.
day I found out I was pregnant with my son.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That is amazing, Christie. And some of this stuff, even though you may see me and Christie sitting here talking and smiling, I don't even know half of the story of the journey that Christie has walked. And obviously you guys have not either, but you are getting a taste of it. And there's so much more in between that we can go into depth about. But one thing I do know about Christie, she is a God-fearing woman. And with that, I want you to tell the audience a little bit about what they can do if they find themselves in the place where you were at some point in their life, if they're experiencing some of the same things.
It's important to know that you've got to have something that's stronger than you are. No matter how capable you are, no matter how resilient you are, you've got to have a force behind you that supports getting through this life. And I met those places in life where I knew I wasn't enough. You've got to not be afraid to talk to people about mental health. You've got to let people know when normal recreational activities become a problem.
Oh, yeah.
You've got to also know that, your physical health is just as important. I allowed myself to be in a place where I eventually had 3 strokes and now have heart disease. But I'm unstoppable because I know I have a Father who's unstoppable.
Right, and he can do all of that and take care of you. Because He has so far. He's never let you down. So take me, like, when you talk about the prostitution, did you ever feel, and the drugs, did you ever feel or risk, like, the consequences that may come with it by dealing with different individuals, whether it was a man, woman, or whoever? Did you ever have any fears that was associated with that?
I think for me as a young woman, because I had experienced issues with molestation and rape in the past, it allowed me to be empowered. And it became a very negative thing because I knew that I could not only get what I wanted, but I could use people in a way that it made me feel like I was wanted. Right. And so there were circumstances where it's only by the grace of God that I didn't contract STDs or didn't, become infected with HIV. Or I've had incidents where I have been beaten, I have been drugged by cars. I mean, physically I've been abused by men or women. And so, at the time though, it's like when people have mental health problems and substance abuse problems, you feel so empty and alone that you just don't think about the consequences.
You just do.
You just go and you do.
To support the habit.
That's right.
So how could you save someone that's watching and saying, look, I don't care if I live or die. I need that hit. I need the next best thing. Like, I am struggling with this demon that I can't get off of me. What could you tell them? Because sometimes, if you believe it or not, we can say one word to somebody and it'll be like, you know what? That's what I needed to hear. So what would be that one word that you can tell the audience that if they are experiencing and dealing with some of the same things, they can help pull them through?
The most important thing is to know that regardless of how you feel about yourself, there's family that loves you. You have advocates for your health, for your wellness, for your right to live. And so no matter how low you feel like life might have taken you or your choices might have taken you, you are important enough to be well and be okay. Right. So you've got to continue to fight no matter what. Don't ever give up. Just keep fighting. Keep looking for the next time that you can stand on your feet.
Right. Well, we're going to be right back. We got to take a break. There's so much more in store. Her story is empowering, but I know we have so much to pour into you on today, so don't leave that seat. Make sure you stay connected. on BeyondOrdinary.tv.
But to be that close, to see everything right in front of you, and then to fall right back into that black hole and not be in control of what came next. I wanted to not only die, but I felt like that the man that had loved me so much and supported me all my life when everyone else hurt me and had abandoned me, which was God, I felt like he turned his back on me.
Beyond Your Ordinary, the Maya Spella Cullen Show, I'm so excited to announce because so many people struggle with issues every single day. And when I say issues feeling like you want to give up on life, there's no hope, that nobody loves you, that you have no purpose in life. But I'm here to bring back that hope. I'm here to bring light and shed light on various situations, from marriage to families, to the school system, down to the hospitals that you may lay. I am your girl, Maya Spella Cullens. Be connected, stay connected, and get the help that you need.
Stacy and Jarrell are the perfect couple, with the perfect family and the perfect life. Or are they?
As the Lord professed unto me, he who findeth a wife, find a good thing. And I know I got a good thing in my wife.
If someone that you love hurt you, how far would you go to avenge your pain?
You made your own in this world, so why would you stay with him? Why don't you get you a little something on the side?
What?
Mm-hmm.
If you had an opportunity to pay someone back, would you?
Detective Claus, narcotics. I think you'll provide me with all the assistance that I need. It would seem as if Stacy's boyfriend is trying to expand his empire.
But there's one, she ruined everything. We should never brought her into this.
When your entire world has been built on lies, can you find your way back to the truth?
Don't run away from me. I want to know what that was all about today.
I don't want to talk about
Oh, you gonna talk about it? Narcotics? Boyfriend? You have no idea how I can destroy you, do you?
And you have no idea what I'm capable of.
What secrets will be revealed behind the veil?
Hello, I am Maya Spella Cullens, and let me tell you about my upcoming show, Beyond Your Ordinary. This is a show that you may not want to miss, and I'm going to tell you why. This situation that deals with mental health and substance abuse go beyond just you and I. It is an issue that impacts the whole entire nation. I've been doing this for over a decade, and I am so ecstatic about bringing different people, talking about different topics, from suicide to bullying to marital issues. You take it, however it comes with mental health, I'm going to give it. Understand that mental health doesn't affect only one person. I know it may seem so taboo in many cultures, but now I'm going to bring it in your face, and we're going to address the issues so that we as a nation can begin to make progress. I am Maya Spella Cullens, Beyond Your Ordinary. Make sure you stay connected. You don't want to miss it. Hello and welcome back. Thanks for staying connected. This show is about a little bit of everything that's going on in today's society. As you are aware, addiction is one of the top leading causes of death right now as we are speaking. And what we're doing on this show today, we are tearing down the stigmas that are associated with addiction, that is associated with mental health, that is associated with the shame, the hurt, and the loss that people struggle with. So I'm going to ask you a question, Christie. I want you to take me to that place in your life that is so memorable but hurting that you couldn't shake for a long time, but it keeps you at perfect peace now to know that you have overcame all those obstacles.
You would go there, wouldn't you, Mike?
I would.
Just recently, within the past few years, I became a phenomenon. I became a miracle against all odds. Not only was I an individual that was addicted and a prostitute and had went through all these horrible things in life, But I got back on my 2 feet. I got custody of my children back, and I was raising my sons to the point that I created my own opioid treatment facility. Everything that I had envisioned my life to be that I wanted. But in the process of that, I wasn't prepared like I should have been. And so while I was at the edge of the doorknob for everything I had waited for, I didn't do enough research in the industry to become prepared as a business owner. And so I created and fathomed a very lucrative, very working business to have everything snatched out from under me. After everything that I had gone through.
Yeah, you're gonna make me cry, okay? Don't do it. Go ahead.
Being able to see that God can take someone that feels like nothing and make them everything that they want to be. But to be that close, to see everything right in front of you, and then to fall right back into that black hole and not be in control of what came next. I wanted to not only die, but I felt like that the man that had loved me so much and supported me all my life when everyone else hurt me and had abandoned me, which was God, I felt like he turned his back on me.
At that time.
At that time, and so I started to question myself. The biggest part about you that you will ever learn to use to live life is when you can forgive a person that's not even sorry. I had to forgive a lot of people that still aren't even sorry. My son and I had to completely start over. I had a mental breakdown, completely lost my health. I had 3 strokes behind the stress of what had occurred. We lost our home, we lost the company. But I'm still reminded, and I'm still a reminder to people that what God places inside of you never dies.
That's right.
And no one can take that from you. So the things that, I was able to see manifest in my life are just a motivation for me to see that if I could do that, there's so much greater that hasn't even came yet. And so, some people will say to me, how have you even lived or survived through what you've been through to be able to tell a story? But I know that even if it was in my hands and I'm not holding it now, then what is still waiting for me?
Right.
And the way that I can impact other people to let them know, no matter what it looks like, life is never over.
That's right.
Until you choose to give up.
Right.
And I'm not a give up person.
Oh, no.
I'm a fighter. I'm a survivor. And I'm going to take this thing and I'm going to make the best that there has ever been in my life out of it.
That's right. That's right. And I commend you for that.
Thank you.
And if you take anything from what Christie just said, she basically was at a point of her life where she was here. And God said, you have it all. But the truth of the matter, I want you to understand, and I'm going to speak to you now, is that no matter what walk of life you come in or you go down, in our mind, we always say, this is how it's supposed to be. This is what it's going to be.
My version.
Yeah, this is what I think. But he always has a bigger plan. And because of that, the faith that you keep when you say, I know he has something else, that's that faith that you have to continue to keep. Because you know, and you know me, I will ride or die to the day I die.
I know
and,
that's right.
And what I mean is God will still be in control, no matter the ups, the downs, however, look, he is still and always will be in control. So we're going to take a break real quick. We'll be right back. But make sure that you stay connected, because now we're going to talk about the plans and things that Christie is doing in her life. So it's always the good, bad, and the ugly, but we're going to give you a little bit of all of it and allow you to sit and meditate on it so you can be a better you. So stay connected. We'll be right back.
When we talk about all the things that I've already experienced, I have to realize and use for motivation for myself that I was that prostitute. I was that person who was molested. I was that person that had been raped. I was that person that wanted to give up and give in. But that's not who I am now, because the God I serve is greater than the things I've been through. important to me because I've experienced situations not only for myself but my family as well, where I've went through things that almost seemed unbearable. If you don't have an avenue of knowing how to escape things like depression and anxiety and overcoming how to come out of that place, it can almost feel like it's overwhelming and it can take control of your entire life. Mental health is also important because people need to know that they have an advocate and they have an avenue of finding support and having a way to deal with situations that they might be afraid to share with other people. Some people don't know that it's okay to seek treatment. It's okay to have someone in your life to provide therapy and medication and other alternatives that can help you come out of that place. Mental health is important because mental health affects everyone.
Are mental or behavioral health issues or addiction affecting you or someone you love? Are you or someone you love addicted to prescription medication? We can help. At Changing Phases Behavioral Support, Inc., our innovative programs combine the best of outpatient care in an intimate, welcoming setting. Serving Marietta and the surrounding areas, we have the privilege of having a host of experienced mental health professionals who specialize in implementing personalized service to reach the community at large. We encourage strong community partnerships and collaborations with our services and various unique programs within our agency for the purpose of enhancing and embracing the individual for a better future. At Changing Phases Behavioral Support, Inc., you will know that you are not fighting alone. To learn more about how we might be able to help you or someone you love, visit us online at www.changingphasesinc.com or call us today.
Hello and welcome. I am Maya Spella Cullins. I would like to give you a little information about why you should tune in to my show. We will be addressing issues from mental health to substance abuse issues every day that people struggle with. The truth of the matter is we always put it into a box where it's taboo in many cultures. We look at mental health and substance abuse as one form or one fashion, but not realizing that we are individuals that look just like me that can struggle every day with an issue and not know that it's a problem. So I'm talking to the sisters and brothers out there that are struggling with depression, where you can't get up out of the bed, you feel like giving up and you have no hope. I'm talking to the marriage couples that's out there that's saying, I'm done because of infidelity, because of issues that he or she struggle with. I am the one that you need to tune into so that you can get help. I want to help you, and I want you to open up and allow me to be in your living room at that place and time so that you can do whatever is necessary to save your life and save others around you. Hope is still available beyond your ordinary. The Maya Spella Cullins Show coming soon.
Stacy and Jarrell are the perfect couple with the perfect family and the perfect life. Or are they?
As the Lord professed unto me, he who findeth a wife, find a good thing. And I know I got a good thing in my wife.
If someone that you love hurt you, how far would you go to avenge your pain?
You made your own in this world, so why would you stay with him? Why don't you get you a little something on the side?
What?
Mm-hmm.
If you had an opportunity to pay someone back, would you?
Detective Claus, narcotics. I think you'll provide me with all the assistance that I need. It would seem as if Stacy's boyfriend is trying to expand his empire.
But this woman, she ruined everything. We should never brought her into this.
When your entire world has been built on lies, can you find your way back to the truth?
Don't run away from me. I want to know what that was all about today.
I don't want to talk about
Oh, you gonna talk about it? Narcotics? Boyfriend? You have no idea how I can destroy you, do you?
And you have no idea idea what I'm capable of.
What secrets will be revealed behind the veil?
All right, welcome back. Thanks for staying connected to Being Ordinary with your host, Maya Stella Collins. I'm still here with Miss Christie Smith, and she is going to give some information, some little nuggets that you can take with you, where she could have been, where she should have been, and where she's at now.
So when we talk about all the things that I've already experienced, you know, I have to realize and use for motivation for myself that I was that prostitute. I was that person who was molested. I was that person that had been raped. I was that person that wanted to give up and give in. But that's not who I am now, because the God I serve is greater than the things I've been through. And so where I'm at now is I'm actually waiting to publish my book, which is coming out. It's my biography called Limitless Potential. Also in the midst of that, I had prayed to lose my financial debt attached to when I had started going to college before I had the strokes and was no longer able to attend school. God made a way that $169,000 worth of financial debt was completely wiped out.
Wow.
So my near future will be
Praise
that
God.
I'll pursue my DO to become a doctor. And also then follow up with the book to start a series and hopefully a movie at some point.
Not hopefully. It will.
And
Good.
will
Yeah,
start a
it
movie,
will.
have a movie at some point, and then in the further future work with being able to create treatment services again for individuals that, you know, maybe even a different outlet of abuse and violence and things that, you know, people are ashamed, those secrets that
Right.
we keep.
Right. And I want you to understand that even when the world counts you out and you almost believe them, or even when you could have been a statistic and you almost believe them, the truth of the matter is you didn't. You still have life. You still have courage. And how I know is because you're watching this episode on today. These words that Christie are speaking are so profound. The words that she is speaking to you is because she's been there and done that. So I encourage you on today to make sure that you stay connected. You visit our website, and you definitely make sure that you go follow Miss Christie Smith. So our website, before I leave, is beyondordinary.tv. And Miss Christie, can you tell the audience how they can stay connected to you?
They can reach me at christiejarrell@gmail.com, Christie Jarrell Smith on social media, Facebook, Instagram as well. And also I have ministry services available for motivational speaking. I minister as well. So those are some of my outlets. Look for me.
Thanks, and make sure you stay connected. I am your host, Maya Stella Collins, and you are watching Beyond Ordinary.